proudly presented by YouTube TV. Day turning into night in Bradenton, Florida at IMG Academy. Getting ready for Game 3 of these WNBA Finals. The Seattle Storm, a 2-0 series lead on the Las Vegas Aces. The Aces, we take a look at the starting lineups. Danielle Robinson coming off 10 assists in Game 2. McBride, McCautry, Asia Wilson, and Carolyn Swords for Vegas. For the Seattle Storm, Sue Bird, Jewel Lloyd, Alicia Clark, Brianna Stewart, and Natasha Howard. A 2-0 series lead in these best-of-5 finals for Seattle, and Game 3 is underway. Seattle wins the tip. Here is Bird.
Really good job all series long, making things difficult for Asia.
Robinson turns the corner, didn't have the angle. Another offensive rebound for Swords, who puts it in. Seattle's usual head coach was not medically cleared to be in the bubble, but he has been very engaged and active from his home with the group, watching and cheering on, plus reviewing film as he watches. Points in Game 1. McCautry, catch, fire, and the connection from 3.
And 5 for 5 from the three-point line. Adds so much to their team when they can get production from the perimeter and not just the paint.
Lloyd dips inside, up under and in for Seattle's first bucket of the game. Here's Wilson raising up and connecting. Asia Wilson has hit early in this first quarter. What does that do for Seattle, Rebecca?
Oh, that's huge. I mean, she's done a nice job on the defensive end, but offensively, she is very difficult for Carolyn Swords to defend. Swords will have a much easier time with Mercedes Russell. And point of discussion for Bill Lambier.
Like that, plant that seed after a game before in this first. An 11-2 Vegas lead, less than 3 minutes into Game 3. Clark squeezes it into Stewart, who lays it in. Wilson, matched up on Clark, raises up and gets the roll. What a strong start for the MVs, and 8 points already in this game.
Yeah, Seattle switched there defensively, and Asia Wilson had the height advantage on Clark. Nice take, though. Jewel Lloyd continuing here to be able to slice inside.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, Jewel Lloyd has been terrific here in the finals, except for Game 1 where she was 6 of 20. Since then, she said, you know, my teammates get me the ball in places where I can hit those shots. I just have to do it. They're trusting me with the ball in my hands, and we're already seeing them go to her early and often, and she is connecting. It's nice to see her off to this quick start.
Yeah, Holly, of course, talking about the work of Asia Wilson thus far in this game, off to a 3 of 3 start from the floor. Stewart, jab step, and the jumper. That is difficult. Wilson again back to work. Wilson, that's what Holly was talking about.
Open shooters on the weak side throughout this series, but that time they missed Russell wide open inside.
Bird dumps it into Russell, and Russell will finish that one in this first quarter.
Playing really nice patience and poise when she catches the basketball.
Wilson again, not that time, but how about Swords on the offensive glass? Stewart gets it to Bird. Clark tried to get it out of her hands before she had it. Russell has the switch on Robinson and takes it. Wilson back to work. Asia Wilson gets another whistle. This one will be on Mercedes.
For her and everything. In fact, her cubicle was furloughed and taken off that job and was kind of waiting at home.
Park Ji-soo opts out. Swords opts in and has played an enormous role for this Vegas team. And put it down, and that was danger with Lloyd lurking. How about Wilson coming around for the steal on the post entry from Bird? And now Bird will take the foul on Robinson. And that would be on ESPN2 for more on these games.
Been able to get out and run. And that's where they have been so good and successful.
Home worst enemy, especially when it came to turnovers there in Game 2, 16 of them, which of course gives Seattle those opportunities to run. Stewart, that is a deep catch, and that's going to be a bucket every time.
To have those looks inside with Stewart on a little.
Stewart is 4 of 4 from the floor. She has 8. Wilson flips it in.
Still finish.
Epiphany Prince can't hit the 3. Clark the offensive rebound. How about Stewart? She got it. On a from both of these All-Stars. Ezzie Magbagor in for Seattle. Seattle has shaved the deficit to 2, and now this game is tied.
Vegas, those are the turnovers that have hurt them all series long, unforced.
And now 4 turnovers in the quarter for Vegas after they kept it under wraps through the early stages of this frame. 4-second difference, game and shot clock. Canada hits again.
Clean up the turnovers. That's been a common theme for Vegas throughout the course of the finals.
Canada, little hesitation, and scoops it in. Ezzie Magbagor, the 21-year-old, can't quite finish, but by the way,
Part of game 3 of the finals, that's not a shot you should be taking.
Young gets a whistle against Canada there, and Vegas will go to the
Howard, and sometimes in this series, one of the things that
outside of Kayla McBride. Seattle was on an extended 17-2 run before those free throws from Young, and now McBride. Position D there from Bird. Lloyd running the break, 3-on-2. Russell lays it in on a gorgeous Bird running. After Angels miss, here's Lloyd on the jump.
in particular, without Breanna Stewart in the game.
McCautry back at it. Her jumper is good. Bird, no look to a running Howard for 2.
How many times have...
More steps of more championships.
Storm, yeah! Go Storm!
That is an adorable message that Seattle coach Dan Hughes sent to the team on the eve of the finals to give them.
And reading the story that Greg Bishop wrote about watching the game on Zoom, game 2 with Dan Hughes.
Robinson taking her time and flipping it in.
Really working this.
Angel double finds Robinson. She can't hit. Rebound Howard. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, on that last Danielle Robinson bucket that was good, you said something important, is that she took her time. Bill Embiid, slow down, run our offense. They've got to take better care of the basketball. It is 6 turnovers already in this first half, and those were the best Bill Embiid side effects I could mimic, but that's exactly what he said.
Very nice.
Side of the rim count?
I'm not sure. Either way, Lloyd's going to make that one count. On 8 to the game, it's 9. Lloyd, good fake. Her jumper is smooth. Was moved to the bench and out of the rotation in the playoffs. Didn't play at the end of that series against Connecticut, games 3, 4, and 5. Had played just 8 total minutes through the first 2 games of these finals. Came in here in the second quarter as McBride buries a big 3.
Player right now whose confidence is shaken a little bit. That's a hard spot to be put in.
About a 3-second difference, game and shot clock. McBride executing the 2-for-1 out of the timeout, and Bird throws it away. Lloyd athletically saves it, and Howard gets fouled by Wilson.
Go straight up.
Howard misses the... Howard hits the second. To go in the second, and Breanna Stewart going to the bench for the 3rd foul. Swords gives it up, and Howard will end the half with that steal. These best-of-5 finals, a 9-point lead to start the 3rd for the Storm. Stewart can't curl it in. Lloyd on the follow, no, but Howard.
Wilson played all but 1.
Just 11 minutes apiece for Howard and Stewart in that first half because of foul trouble. Stewart with 3 fouls, Howard with 2. Bird poked it, Vegas gets it back, and Wilson hits the...
The ball in Angel McCautry's hands. They do need her to get going on the offensive end. Sue Bird getting going for...
Yeah, it was the 16 points from Angel McCautry, as McCautry's going to get McCautry her 16 points in the 3rd quarter of game time. As Clark hits
stretched leg. Can you have an outstretched leg?
Yeah, well, of course you can. Ideally, yes. Stewart hits the three. Down, and the lead is 17. Howard the poke away, Lloyd the steal, Vegas getting sloppy, Seattle taking advantage. Fading away, can't get it to drop in, and Robinson the weak side rebound. Vegas has shown the ability to make a push. Can they here? It starts with a bucket from... He's not an easy guy to predict what makes him smile anyway, but I'm just sure that one. In the corner, Lloyd connects on a three. Optometry optional for Sue Bird as Stewart gets in for two. Vegas looking for answers. Seattle's largest lead of the series.
So easy, makes it look so easy.
Foul, and has picked up. Stewart has averaged 29.5 points through the first 2 games of these finals. Oh, Bird snuck it into Stewart, but the bucket will not count. Foul. Instead, Jackie Young hit with the personal, and Stewart at the beginning of this series, but worth repair here in 2020.
And one of the things she could work on when she wasn't allowed to be mobile was her ball handling. And you've seen that throughout the course of the season, especially in the open floor, how much better she has gotten with her ball handling.
Young leans in and gets the roll. Put together some scores. Deep catch, Wilson. And if you give Asia Wilson the ball there,
Either way.
We've seen the comeback ability all season, especially in the playoffs for Vegas. And a whistle here against Las Vegas. That's going to put Seattle at the line again. Line. Voter. Yeah. Early voting. Why not? Stewart missing
each other, scoring over the top of each other. That when we have an Olympics, there's a great chance that those 2 players can be playing alongside of each other for USA basketball. How beautiful will that be if you're a member of the U.S. national?
Bring at least 20 points. And those are the only 6 finals games she has played in her career. Canada has been real.
And these players playing every other day, and we've talked about the depleted bench for Vegas, and they look tired, Ryan. And there's been at times this series where they have looked tired, both physically and mentally. The player who hasn't looked tired at all is Breanna Stewart.
Stewart threes to make up big deficits in a hurry. McCautry 2-on-2, and McCautry couldn't squirm it in, but
You hear Alicia Clark. I was with her.
Conversations.
Yes.
Sometimes Holly has to whisper. The finals games in her career, went to the finals 3 times with Atlanta. They were swept each time. Epiphany Prince hits the jumper. Here's Stewart. Free lane to the cup. Breanna Stewart with on. Robinson alone hits the jumper. Nice look off. Canada kicks it out. Clark, you bet. On to Clark. And swords the rebound. Vegas outscored by Seattle in that third, 32-14. As Jackie 4 titles, the Minnesota Lynx and the Houston Comets. Seattle could join those illustrious franchises tonight. The Lynx, of course, the most recent dynasty we saw as Clark squeezes it in. Phoenix and Detroit, but that is 8 minutes and 56 seconds away from a change-in. Canada pizza pies at home.
Some scoring punch off the bench.
Outstanding use of toggle. A 21-8 bench points advantage for Seattle. Young gets the whistle.
29 away from a championship.
And while she's had up and down moments, as They set a WNBA record averaging 35 points per game off the bench, and Young was at the heart.
She's done a nice job here in the fourth quarter so far, going to her strength, which is the mid-range pull-up jumper. That's one of many.
Stewart. She's 3 of 4 from downtown. Swords lays it in. Stewart thus far tonight. Stewart got fouled. Rogers can't hit. Let me ask you something. The result certainly is not in doubt, but if you're Seattle and Gary Kloppenburg, are you making sure to still get Sue Bird some floor time in this fourth?
I think you're having that nice take by Tuck. You're having that conversation with Sue.
She has fought to stay on the floor, stay with this team, because she knew that this was a special player and they could win more championships. Sue said, you know, it's kind of like a big sister relationship. I want the best for her, and whether I'm her teammate or not in the future, I'm all.
Lloyd cutting through, curling it up and in. Jewel Lloyd at Langhorne getting some run, can't hit. Rebecca, let's wrap up this season for Las Vegas. I mean, they were without 2 key pieces this year. Liz Cambage opting out.
I mean, they have the league MVP and Asia Wilson, a phenomenal on the sideline. And depending on what happens in free agency, Liz Cambage, they are going to be loaded next year.
2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes remaining, Canada hops into another bucket. She has 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in 16 minutes off the bench. You know, Rebecca, so many sacrifices were made to make this season happen by these women. Extraordinary level.
Well, Coach Kloppenburg had to miss his daughter Carlotta's wedding, and it was very difficult for him. He's missed a game because hopefully they'll wear the dress, they'll put the suit on, and they will reenact it for him when he's out of this bubble. But just imagine the personal cost to all of these people. There's Carlotta Kloppenburg, and I know it was devastating to him, but he had to do what he had to do this season, and that is bring home a championship. And I know Carlotta, who is a coach herself, will understand, and hopefully they'll reenact it for Dad when he gets home.
52.6 seconds away had to play in this fourth quarter after the lead crescendo to 35 for Seattle. That jumper is good from Allen, and the Seattle Storm can dribble this one out now. The smiles, you can see them through the masks. Utter and complete domination. In a year we will never forget. The Seattle Storm are the team we will always remember. They are your 2020 WNBA champions. The sweep is complete. 92-59, the final in Game 3, and it is championship number 4 for the Seattle Storm.
Seattle came into this season as the overwhelming favorite to be the champion, and they had some interesting twists and turns throughout the course of the regular season. Injury to Sue Bird.